It's another ridiculous night as my round table joins me, Ben, the ridiculous Riddick, and rants concerning the nerd culture of yesterday and today. Joining me at my round table for the first time in 4 weeks, James, over in Capelli's Corner, Capelli.
Hi.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch him. He's the gingerbeard man, Kenny Haynes.
Oh.
And Nikki, the powerful Powell, will be joining us, I am told, in 5 minutes. So don't you worry, if you wanted your daily dose of Nikki, you will get it. And if that is something you need, I am really sorry. Your life seems quite meaningless.
Please see a doctor immediately.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, we're going to try something a little different with the show format this week, as we kind of reboot the show, so to speak. This week, our topic, the show I am calling Virtually Augmented, we are going to be talking about our favorite topic, virtual reality, which has always been such a hot-button topic on this show that I couldn't resist starting our reboot with virtual and augmented reality. I mean, we talk about it a lot. We've had 3 or 4 episodes just on.
I don't think it'd be controversial, though. I mean,
I didn't say controversial.
Yeah, you did.
Say controversial.
Thank you, James.
Boom. Thank you, James.
What?
Anyways,
Right. Moving along.
not only that, but over the last couple of weeks, we've learned quite a few new things about virtual reality and augmented reality that I thought it was, only natural to start talking about this. Some of the biggest news, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so yeah. Some of the biggest news is that the Google Glass Explorer program came to an end. That's right. If you really wanted to pay $1,500 to beta test something, you missed it.
Fuck.
But don't worry, you can still make yourself look like a creepy douchebag by going to eBay or Amazon and buying them from private sellers for just around $2,000, which leads me to ask James,
Yo.
how much do you pay to look the way you do, like a douche? Just out of curiosity. You got a new haircut. How much did that new haircut cost?
Good question.
That was beautiful.
I'm
How much
curious.
would I pay for a Google Glass, or how much would I pay to look like me now?
Oh, that was wonderful. I think it's one of the best moments in my life. It was
really sad, Kenny.
It was so fluid.
That is kind of sad. In other news, another topic we're going to be talking about today, Oculus Rift announced that they are going to be at Sundance this year with fully virtual reality movies. Can't wait until those movies come out because I'm only going to need to buy like 4 or 5 Oculus Rifts to sit down with a group of my friends and watch a movie. But that's okay. But if you are going to Sundance and you are doing some of those virtual reality films, make sure you look ahead of time at what you're seeing because it could mean the difference between checking out some projects that old Pixar alums are working on or walking into a movie where you get to witness a sexual assault from 2 different points of view.
Just what Kenny has always wanted.
Just what Kenny has always wanted.
Yeah.
And then
What?
And then the last bit of big news in the augmented reality, virtual reality space that we're going to be talking about tonight is the big announcement from Microsoft, the Holo-Lens, your own personal holodeck on the go. The Holo-Lens is a little different from what Oculus is doing with their headset because the Holo-Lens overlays into the real world, similar to Google Glass, but it takes over your entire field of sight, not just the top left corner of your eye, which is good because the last thing Microsoft needs is something to make their users look more like an idiot. Then again, we're also talking about the people who created the Surface table. So
one other major difference that from all the other ones, Oculus Rift and Google Glass and stuff, it will have more crashes per piece of hardware than any others combined.
And don't forget, you too can turn your
cars.
living room into the blue screen of death.
Yes.
that's exclusive to the Microsoft Holo-Lens.
The only difference is this you can't take off. It's permanently installed on your face, and you can just at least walk away from your computer. I'm only joking.
But you know what's really exciting from what I have seen that looks really neat is how they can overlay instructions into your field of view. So like one of the big things that they had previewed was putting together a light switch with the HoloLens on, and actual electricians were guiding the people through the HoloLens how to install a light switch.
That's pretty cool.
Just think of all of like the home improvement things that you could do. If you could call up a plumber, put on your HoloLens, go, fix a leaky pipe. Or, maybe Kenny can finally learn how to please his girlfriend. Who knows?
Sorry,
You can call me up every night in tears over the matter.
But I think the HoloLens is where we should start our talk. What do you guys think? Have you guys looked into the HoloLens at all?
I've heard bits and pieces, but no, I've not actually looked into it.
Kenny, how about you?
Kinda. I'll let
Kinda?
you take that. Go ahead. You talk about it.
Okay. So one of the cool things that they were showing, and I have to say, I really want a set of these this augmented reality device, because one of the first things that they showed was somebody put on this headset, and look at that, Nikki the Powerful Pal is finally with us.
Hi!
Somebody put on this headset and loaded up Minecraft in their living room. And the HoloLens was able to figure out where tables were, furniture was, so these people were actually picking up and moving pieces onto furniture and building their world in Minecraft in their living room. Essentially, virtual reality Legos. Which,
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really quite neat.
All the fun, none of the I'm going to step on it and, murder a small animal in pain.
Yeah. It's all fun until a creeper comes up to your coffee table and blows out the leg.
The struggle is real.
But I thought that just what they were showing, it looks like they are immediately going into the production of the HoloLens and making it something that will have support right out the gate. It actually finally makes sense that Microsoft bought Minecraft. I mean, just with the HoloLens, I see no reason why they wouldn't have wanted Minecraft. I mean, can you guys think of any other games that you would like similarly to that, where it comes right into your living room as opposed to going elsewhere?
Probably Need for Speed, so I can beat you in every race in 3D.
Damn it. Yeah, that was happening non-stop today.
Non-stop.
I think
Call of Duty would be pretty badass, or Battlefield, or any other like first-person shooter.
I was thinking, set up like kind of like a laser tag building, but throw on the HoloLens on top of that, and you could simulate a whole different world with like explosions, or you could, actually see things.
You could set yourself in different surroundings, and it could be like the desert here, and then the jungle there, and then back and
Yeah.
But still have your complete like range of sight and motion without the possibility of the motion sickness, and
Like you could play paintball in a Call of Duty map.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
I'm
interesting.
assuming. I only came in the last little bit of this conversation.
Or any map. It doesn't have to be a Call of Duty
It
map.
could be a Halo map.
Well, you know what
Could
I
be
mean.
Call of Duty,
know-
I mean, that's the wonder of technology.
Fuck it, you could play Final Fantasy,
Oh shit, that'd be awesome.
right?
I think
just-
a lot of content creation would be just really, really cool. Like outside of, Minecraft and stuff, like level editors.
You know what game? You know what game I would really love to play in virtual reality? Second Life.
Oh my god. A virtual reality portal, I would die.
Oh my gosh. No, you know what I was just thinking
Yeah, I
of?
was thinking Portal 2.
Imagine like a Skylanders or Amiibo like device where you could put down like these creatures on the ground and have them fight each other in your living room.
Like
you can get a
Pokemon?
holographic
Like
chess
Pokemon.
from Star Wars.
Exactly like that.
Man, if only I was 10 again and was still into Pokemon.
Oh, jeez, that'd be so cool.
Jeez, Kenny, it's for adults too. Okay, adults can like Pokemon.
It's true.
I'm not
I've
saying
seen
they,
it- I've seen
they
it
don't.
happen.
I just liked them when I was 10.
Another really neat thing that they were doing with the HoloLens that was just awesome to me is they were having people guide the Curiosity rover on Mars, and they were able to put themselves on Mars and kind of help the Curiosity rover navigate through obstacles.
All right, that's
They,
it.
like,
you know what they're gonna make now.
Tell me
Twitch
that is not
plays
awesome.
Curiosity.
What was that?
Twitch plays the Curiosity rover.
Twitch plays Curiosity rover. I would watch that.
You know what game I think would be really cool for this would be anything Telltale does.
Yeah.
That is a really cool game.
Which one?
No, I mean, the games are really cool, but just the home interface and the home repairs thing just is outstanding to me.
Mhm.
Like being able to even like guide through cooking or guide through building a PC right in your living room. Granted, you'd have to have the HoloLens hooked up to something, so maybe you're not building a PC.
I think it'd be a really interesting application for like training people in like where their field is like dealing with emergency scenarios. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's like how do you adequately prepare somebody to be an emergency response for something like a tornado or an earthquake, things like that. You can't. It's difficult and/or expensive to replicate that. You know. That'd be a really cool thing to use, like to see in real, just regular life.
The only thing that would concern me, like with the HoloLens and instructions, is people will probably take on projects they can't actually handle, thinking, "Oh, I can do this now. I've got the instructions right here," and they either kill themselves by trying to change out a wall outlet, and they shock themselves because they accidentally touch a wire, because even though an instruction can pop up and say, "Don't touch this. This will kill you," you can still touch it.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are stupid already. They go
Yeah.
on YouTube and watch videos to do the exact same thing.
There's a reason there's a label on the blow dryer that says "Don't blow dry in the bathtub."
Yeah.
Yeah.
People aren't
Unfortunately.
all that smart.
And unfortunately, that would only perpetuate more people doing projects that they now think they can take on. But I mean, with risk comes reward.
Mm. So I do have to ask this. Do you think this is something that will actually come out, or will it be another one of the Microsoft Surface tables? Do you guys remember those?
Yeah,
Obviously
I
not.
remember like
I
reading
still
about
do.
it like as a concept.
it's still out. It's about
Yes.
about this big now,
Exactly.
and it's more of a tablet than a table.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, Microsoft years ago announced the Microsoft Surface, which is not the tab that they have now, but was actually a like dining room table-sized computer, touch screen, and they were bragging about how it'd be so easy to put in restaurants, split tabs, do stuff like that, and I even got to do a hands-on with one at the North American Veterinary Conference like 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, something like that, and it was really neat. But it was just a big, giant iPad. But it never came out. They kept testing it and talking about it, and then silence.
Yeah, I think I heard like a little bit about why it never really came out, and I think it was that at the time, and maybe still is, to create a large tablet like that was more difficult to code and wire, and then therefore create than they anticipated.
Yeah.
So
Well, do you think this is actually something that they'll push out, though?
Probably because it's made for more than just. I mean, those surfaces were marketed to businesses, to restaurants. To restaurants that already have tables to then install them for a much higher cost for more of a convenience to customers and not them. I mean, because the reality of it is now you're putting how many computers that people are eating on top of in a restaurant. That's a cost to maintain, run by Microsoft, so it's going to crash. Probably not work right away, so it's an inconvenience. Whereas with their Holo, it's for consumers, for people, for individual people that can spend a little bit of extra money in buying it for themselves. It's not going to cost them thousands of dollars once the price comes down and they've done their beta testing with it. So it'll probably last longer. I mean, that's why the Surface table is still a project. It's their tablet now, and they made it into a tablet because it's more it's better for consumers.
Mm.
Yeah. I think it'll go the way that they're handling Google Glass, or it'll be a very slow thing.
See, I don't think it's going to be slow, because I think Microsoft wants to have this out before Sony can finish their Morpheus, before Oculus gets a huge foothold, and before Apple decides that that they're going to go into this. Do you guys think Apple needs to respond to this?
Respond? No, Apple will do what Apple always does. They'll let the technology be like on the cusp of household brand, and then they'll put their own special twist on it that'll make it easy to use, a clean design, not going to crash on you, something like that. And I mean, that's what Apple does, and they do it
pretty damn well.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do, because why change a business model that's been working for them for the past 8 years now?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm surprised that they came out with their Apple Watches so soon as well, with that with the technology so new. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm one that's not a huge fan of the whole watch thing, but this thing I could get behind. Nikki, have you had a chance to look at the Holo-Lens at all?
Nope.
Glad you came prepared.
Yeah, no problem.
What do you guys think will make this?
What was
What
that?
does Microsoft need to do to make this successful? For me, Microsoft, in order to make the HoloLens successful, they need to come out the gate with the killer app.
So I mean, I think it's less of the killer app, but more of a variety within each app. So if they come out with what they're marketing as instructions to do projects around the house, they can't just have like 2 or 3 projects. They're going to have a wide array of projects, which then they'll probably have to actually go out into the industry and have other developers say, hey, would you mind doing this and creating this project for this specific app?
See, but that is my concern. One of the things that I absolutely hate is when a big company like Microsoft or Apple or even Oculus says, oh, I can't wait until developers get their hands on this, because really you should be making something that has those apps on it already and not waiting for someone.
I didn't mean to say developers, but rather the people that can actually do those projects. They need to go out and have those projects ready on the device when it comes out. Like what I said, you can't just have 2 or 3 projects. Like let's fix the cabinet and replace a light switch, and that's the only 2 things that you can do.
Well, no, the way it worked in the demo is they were speaking live with an electrician who was guiding them through it. So it was a Skype call with someone.
Wow. So
they
then
were able to point and direct things. So it was more like a helpline.
So that's going to be even more difficult for them to set up right away out of the gate, because you're going to have businesses already integrating this to do this over the internet. And not only that, but liability. So if that person then shocks themselves, say they're working with electricity, then shocks themselves, who is at fault there? Who takes the liability? The electrician on the other line because they're not there to do the project? Is it Microsoft? There's a lot of stuff that goes into that.
Yes, but that's not the only thing that they should have right out the gate, is what I'm saying. They should have essentially like the original iPhone. We can all agree that the iPhone 1, the very original iPhone, was kind of garbage, but it came with things that worked right out the gate. It had the text messaging, it had the email, it had the web browser, it even had a way for you to create web apps. It had things that worked and that people used and that people liked. It wasn't until 6 months to a year down the road that they made the developers, the SDK, the OS open for people to come in and develop on. That's what I think Microsoft needs to do. They need to have a big box of goodies ready to go with the HoloLens, not just that one thing. And it all has to work within reason.
Well,
Yeah.
That's the only way that it's going to be successful. If they're just counting on other developers and creators to make it good, we're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Well, and most likely, unfortunately, what you'll probably see are things like that first come out with it. You can check your email. You can send text messages all in 3D in front of you. It's not going to be anything. There's not going to be too many things out there that's special that is practical for you. The reason why you actually bought that HoloLens.
HoloLens, yeah. But they have the opportunity to succeed with it. What are you going to say, James?
I say it's tough to say, like, these are the things I think it needs to be able to do, because it's a whole new level of technology. I'm pretty sure that we'll get to a point where we'll say either Microsoft became successful with it or their competitor finally broke out the gate because it had this one or these two things that Microsoft didn't have. And we'll be able to say, in retrospect, that's what gave them the edge. It's tough to say now what it's going to be. Is it going to be whoever's the first to really utilize it well for entertainment? Is it going to be the first to really utilize it well for like the Skyping, I guess, so to speak? I mean, in the end, I think it's going to boil down to whoever gets a solid foundation and then markets it the best.
Mm. Okay.
Because I mean, really, that's what when Apple's iPhone came out, it was not the first phone that could do all those things.
No.
I think it was the first that could do it all together and as an Apple product. But then the way they advertised it, which is what Apple's very good at, like that's what really got them, as far as they did.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing with the iPhone is all a touch screen and it had one button. I'm sorry, two buttons.
Yeah. Simple. That's what people wanted. That's what
Exactly.
people still want.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so do you think this thing needs to stay simple? Because, one of the reasons I'm not a big Apple fan and I prefer Android is because Android can do more. I'm in the minority in that sense, and for the most part, that's, any field you go into, you get people who know what they're doing want to get more technical with it, but majority of people want simple.
mm-hmm.
So how do you create a whole new level of technology and keep it simple? That's going to be the trick.
Right. Well, but that's what they need to do, because they need a bunch of early adopters. That's why the iPhone was successful, because it was simple. And that's honestly probably one of the reasons why the Android had a slightly slower start in the beginning, because there was more to it. Not that that's a bad thing, because there are still great Android phones, and I fully agree with that. Every time my contract ends and I'm eligible for an upgrade, I always sit there and debate with myself, do I really want an iPhone or do I want to go Android this time? So, I mean, Android is doing something right now, but it came after the iPhone was doing the things that it was doing, or it became popular after the iPhone was doing the things it was doing. And I think HoloLens needs to have something simple, fun, but innovative that people are going to be like, oh, I want this thing, because even I can use that. It's one of the reasons why I think the Minecraft thing on it is such a brilliant idea, because kids are going to look at that and they're going to be like, holy fuck. Those little 5-year-old kids are going to watch the TV, the commercial for the Minecraft on this, and they're going to be like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
They won't even know the word, but they'll know it then. because
and that's what I think. I think to market it, if you make it simple and you market it well towards families, you're in.
Yeah.
Because this is
Absolutely.
not like a phone. You can't this is not like every device is one person's. You know, you're not going to get more than one of these. So make it the living room centerpiece, so to speak. You know, that's.
But still, they still have to make it competitively priced.
Yeah, that's the
So-
trick. Which is why I think it's going to be a long process. Maybe not as long as glass, but I still think it's not going to be like a iPhone.
You know what astonishes me? This has been kept a complete secret.
For how long?
I have I don't remember looking it up, but they had working models
Mm.
when they announced it for journalists to look at, and it was.
Mhm.
I can't remember the last time I heard of any tech company being able to keep such a big secret like that.
That's just. I think they can keep secrets better than most people think they can. I think most of the time when you hear about stuff, it's because the company's actually leaking it. It's very, very easy to keep something within a company secret because normally, I mean, it all depends on how many people you have working on that project, but you can't tell me you've got so many people that they can't manage the funneling of that information off of a beta program.
Right.
So, I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's most likely the company leaking it to start hype it within the media.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially with, I mean, I guarantee you every single person that works on that project and every other project, that new project, innovative project, have signed so many documents that for them to keep that secret that it's not worth them telling anybody.
Mm.
That it would cost them so much financially to, if they were found out telling that secret, that would you take that risk? I think most
There's
people,
also the
people
level
say
of
no.
excitement of building something like this and then getting to do the big reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last question about the HoloLens before we move on to Google Glass is this. Nikki,
Mm-hmm.
do you want a HoloLens?
Not at this moment. I mean, but once it comes out and improves to something that's affordable and something people would actually use, possibly.
Kenny, do you want a HoloLens?
Not right away until I see more out of it. I mean, home projects are great, but I can take care of most of those things myself already, so it's not an interest point for me. I'd have to see something else out of it.
James, do you want a BLT?
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Sounds
too.
good.
Do you want a HoloLens, though?
Oh no. No, probably not right away. I want to wait to see how this thing is going to either be caught on, adapt, and how it's going to change the American household. You know, if
Absolutely.
it is just, you know, what Kenny is saying, like it's just kind of like a DIY project right now. It's some entertainment. That's like I'm so set in my habits and in how I can figure out how to do things that I don't need a.
James, you
I
could
need a-
walk curiosity on a leash, essentially.
I can go to my buddy's place when he buys it and do the same thing. All right, I don't need that access in my life every minute.
That's fair
It's
enough.
cool, yes, but I don't need it right away. Do you want it?
I do want one. I think I'm in the same boat as you guys. I'll probably wait to see what they've got. But if it came out at the right price point, I would even venture to say that I would be a first adopter.
What price would it have to be for you to be on the first wave?
Somewhere between 200 and 300.
Okay.
It's good luck with that.
No, I know, but I think Microsoft can afford to put them out at a loss.
Tell you what, Ben. Somehow, they'll set up one of those little vending machine game things where you can snip the wire and win yourself a
And I'll only spend $5 on it then. So perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh no, I'll actually be paid $15 because that's how I won the iPad, right, Kenny?
That's right.
Anyways, let's talk about Google Glass. So Google Glass Explorer is over. They have no idea when Google Glass is going to come out, but you can no longer get into their beta testing program. First
That's
off,
still a thing.
yeah, it's been beta testing for how long now? 2 years?
I thought
Yeah,
Google Glass was super over a while ago.
Yeah. Well, no.
Damn.
And like it wasn't even something that was cheap to beta test. If you wanted to beta test one of these bad boys, you had to spend $1,500. James, do you have $1,500 to start beta testing something?
I don't reveal that kind of information online, Ben.
Oh,
If I was
okay.
making that kind of money, you think I'd be here?
Well, I mean, and you say there are already sources coming out saying that the new version of Google Glass is going to be coming out later this year. So I don't know if it's going to be too.
The new version of the Explorer project. So the Explorer people, they get the updated Google Glass when it comes out. I don't think that the final consumer-ready one is going to come out this year.
Oh no, but I mean, yeah, there'll be another beta test project, but I mean, it's a brand new technology.
Yeah, but why? Google Glass is something that I don't fully understand, especially since it's on such a small part of your face, and on top of that, it only appeals, or it only really hooks into people who wear glasses. Kenny, I don't wear glasses and I don't need them. Why would I get glasses just to wear Google Glass?
Why would you get the Holo-Lens?
It's about being fully integrated. It's about always being plugged into the system, which, you know, for some people that's just they want to take selfies and Instagram pics 24/7. For others, it's they are stockbrokers where they can, like, having a live feed to the stock exchange is useful. It's for that sort of
But
utility.
now they have the smartwatches. There is no reason for it to be right on your face.
Most likely, one day I might have to get glasses. I don't like wearing watches. I don't have a smart watch. I'm never gonna get one. I hate wearing it on my wrist.
But
You know, there's some people out there that don't have hands, okay, and the watch might not work. Just saying.
Well, it's
No?
different because a smartwatch will. You've got to look down, and you still have to use. You still have an interface to use with your hands to distract you. Google Glass, it's all voice activated. Well, for the most, like there is a button you can use, yes, but it keeps you like focused on what you're doing. It's a cleaner integration with real life, I think.
So Kenny brought up the point, why would I want the HoloLens over the Google Glass? And I'll tell you why. The HoloLens is marketed as a device to use in your living room. The Google Glass is marketed as a device to go out and just be walking around with this constantly. And that is something that doesn't appeal to me. If Google Glass were something that were literally just glasses that I put on, and I had augmented reality right in front of me, and I just used it at home, fine. I don't see the point in using it out in the wild, especially now that we have the smartwatches, which do the exact same thing. You can have them automatically receive certain updates and let you know. It doesn't make you look like a complete and total asshole because people normally wear watches anyways. And then on top of that, there's the huge concern with Google Glass about privacy. I mean, the Google Glass is always recording, or it might not always be recording, but you never know when the Google Glass is recording you walking by someone, or anything like that. You never know if the person using it is using it at that time. And I think the privacy thing is the biggest thing for me.
Well, I mean, for you, yeah, but you're talking about teenagers right now growing up in the age of technology that don't care about that whatsoever. Have you seen the amount of shit?
But they need to. They need to care about it.
The amount of shit that's posted on YouTube, the amount of crap, like what people are posting nowadays. They don't necessarily need to need to be concerned with it. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, you can ruin your life by putting stuff up, but it's also what people care to share.
But you know what,
don't
Kenny?
have to.
That's them ruining their lives. I don't want somebody else ruining my life because Google Glass, videoed me throwing a can in the non-recyclable basket while I'm an environmentalist. Okay? I don't want something like that to be around.
I mean,
my
I agree
biggest concern with Google Glass is the fact that it's Google and it's information, and because of all the crap that's happened over the past couple of years with the NSA and stuff like that, and how much Google and similar companies are going along with it, I just don't trust that.
Well,
and Google has even gone out and said, you are the product.
Yeah, but
they're not making the product, you are the product. Whereas Microsoft, when they announced HoloLens, they said, you are the consumer, this is the product. You don't have anything to worry about when it comes to us selling your information, which Google does. Granted, I use a lot of Google. I am recording this on Google Hangouts using Google Chrome.
Well, now they know what I look like.
You Chrome.
I mean, and I'm not saying I disagree with you on the privacy thing. I agree with you, but I mean, on the other end of that, all right. So Google Glass doesn't come out. Huge privacy issue. You know how many cameras and we're not talking about all over the place, but major cities, how many cameras are up, how much stuff is actually being recorded to the public, how many people are taking videos from their phones, how many there's already so much of that building up. It's gonna keep going. It's gonna get to the point where when you're in public, there's not gonna really be that much privacy anymore. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going. The way the technology world is driven. But so even if Google Glass doesn't happen, it's still going to build up in other ways. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's just the way it's going.
And Kenny just told me that Google Glass is apparently going to be the big enemy that's in Watch Dogs.
Google Glass is Big Brother.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think they're working Google Glass into something bigger. And it's such a huge project, it's like Google Glass has to go slow for it to work somehow. I don't know. I mean, no, I don't. I can't even imagine what it is. But I think Google Glass is not the final picture that they're working on.
Okay. So we've talked about HoloLens, Google Glass. Do you want one, James?
No.
No. Kenny.
Yes.
Do you want Google? You do. Why? Why do you want?
I didn't. Can you? Holy crap! Calm down. You said Kenny. I said yes.
Well,
Did you ask the question?
I assumed that you knew that the question was the same as James's. Kenny, do you want Google Glass?
No, I do not.
I would have loved it if you said yes. That would have been hilarious.
Nikki, how about you?
No, thank you.
Okay. So who's going to buy Google Glass?
I
know that we are not. We're a very small sampling, but
I also didn't buy any of the Pebble or any other watch device either. I know plenty of people that already have. There are plenty of people out there that will be more than happy to buy Google Glass.
When I can think of a few good application uses for it. I think if you can get to the point where Google Glass takes beautiful photography, I think that would be great.
No, I don't want it to do that.
Why?
Because it's not. Again, it's that whole Google sells you. I mean, why should it take pictures?
Okay.
And no photographer in their right mind is going to use it either, because Google's probably going to have some kind of stupid thing in their terms of service that says any picture you take we can use without your permission.
All right. Well, let's ignore the fact that it's Google and just focus on the technology itself. All right. If somebody were to sell you this device that is, rights all to your own, would you not be at least interested in having a hands-free camera to shoot at whatever you're looking at and have it be in good resolution, good settings like a regular professional photographer could do. That
You
doesn't
mean
at
like
least
a GoPro?
interest you. Too bulky. Not too bulky, but it is bulky. Google Glass can fit right on your
Have
head.
you used a GoPro?
Yes.
I definitely don't think bulky is.
Not nearly as bulky as glasses.
Yeah, but it's smaller, and again, it's something else that you have to wear. I mean, the GoPro, you can put it on your helmet, you can put it on your bike. What kind of things are you going to record on Google Glass? The same kinds of things that you would use a GoPro for.
Well, that's really, I mean, the GoPro is built for athletics too. Like, I doubt you're going to be taking Google Glass with you down the slopes. I think.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's too fragile. I mean, they could.
So
They're
make a
just as
case
fragile
for
as
it.
glasses, really, and I've never seen somebody destroy their glasses from a spill on the slopes.
You also live in
Not that
Florida,
it's never
I've
happened.
where you
also
don't
been
have to
slopes,
see a lot of
right?
people on the
I'm
slopes.
sure-
I've seen more
sure we've been-
GoPros in the few winter trips I've taken than my life in Florida.
Yeah, you also don't think about breaking your sunglasses when you go on a trip. I'm pretty sure you'd be pretty worried about breaking your Google glasses.
Especially, I mean, with how much they are and all that. And granted, some sunglasses are equally as expensive, and they don't do anything. So
I'm worried. I mean, that one ski trip, I've been skiing once, and I was worried about my phone breaking, it being in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's my phone. Like, Google glasses are
The
going to
several
be.
times I've snowboarded, I've always left my phone in my pocket, and I've never had any problems.
I'm not saying you will. I'm saying that there's a greater possibility.
how much does Google Glass have to cost for you to be interested in it? I'll tell you mine right now. It has to cost $70.
$20.
$20?
$20.
I would say somewhere between 1 and 150, and that's if it's becoming like a must-have to function in society sort of thing.
I wouldn't buy it. I'm just not interested in it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's why I said $20.
Just not something I would buy. The same reason I will never get. I mean, if somebody gave me a pebble to wear on my wrist, most likely I'd be like, oh, cool, try it out for a day or two, and then not use it anymore. Because it's just not something I like wearing.
There are a lot more people that wear wristwear than, or can make the decision to wear wristwear than would make the decision to wear eyewear.
I
would much rather wear.
For me, you were asking me.
No, I know.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a reason why, like, even something like that, something that a lot of people would use, I still would not use it if it was given to me.
I gotcha.
If it was given to me, I'd use it. I wouldn't make the conscious decision to pick glasses over a watch by any means, because
You'd at least try it, right, Kenny?
Probably for a day or two, and then set it
try
aside.
And that's what I think it has to be. If for Google to take off, it's gotta be somehow so good you're not gonna really understand how good it is until you try it. Like, that's the only way I see Glass really taking off, is if this product is better than we can imagine.
I mean, I'd rather just try an Oculus Rift first. I haven't tried one of those yet. I wanna do something that's gonna get me into gaming, something that I can use part time, like kind of what Ben was saying about the Holo-Lens. Something I'm not going to use all the time, but I can still try. I can still get used to wearing something like that.
Yeah, something that living room use, at home use, not out for a stroll, always recording everything.
Even if it's something that you could use outside, but it serves one specific purpose, gaming or entertainment, something that you're not doing all the time. If it enhanced one thing that I did in my life, even if, I mean, anything, I would try it out for a while, but not something that's just generally there for something I might need. Because that's what all these things are right now, is for things that you might need. You might make this easier for you to do, not something, all right, you're going to put this on, and it's definitely going to make your work experience or your video game experience 10 times better.
That we know of yet.
Yes.
I mean, obviously what you're saying is very true, but that we know of yet. You were talking about Oculus Rift.
I was.
One of the big news stories over the last couple weeks is Oculus Rift at Sundance.
Mm-hmm. I'm really interested in that.
Really?
I
Movies
am.
in virtual reality?
You know what? I wasn't at first when I was thinking about it, but after watching, there was one video. What was the website that I was looking at? We'll have to post it later. It was people at Sundance trying this out. Actual people that work on films. And they made a lot of good points where it's like you have to look at it completely different. You can't. It's not going to be a movie anymore. It's going to be another piece of entertainment, but I think eventually, if it takes off, they won't be considered movies because they have to be thought of completely different. So there's no more cut. And this is what one of the guys was saying. There's no more cut in movies. You can't say cut, move on to next scene. Because what happens when you're in a three-dimensional space and the next scene starts? He said it was going to be jarring. And it's jarring to people because you're not used to being in a three-dimensional space and all of a sudden everything changes around you into the next thing. They're going to have to find how to transition that, and it's going to be completely new. So I'm really interested to see what they do. They were mentioning how do you light the scenarios that you're in? How do you, like anything,
How the truth comes out. Kenny just wants this to be a big thing so that he can go in and light these scenarios.
I think it would be pretty cool, but most likely it would be done on computers, not in actual filming, which is very disappointing. But even every aspect of building a movie would have to be completely changed because you're no longer filming from most likely the fourth wall. You are filming from somebody in the actual playing space. And that is a completely different experience that I don't think many of us have ever experienced. There's a couple of plays out there that bring you past that fourth wall, like in the round, which kind of involves the audience, but that's as close as we've ever gotten. So I think it's really, if they do it right, could be a really cool and new experience.
But do I really need to experience both point of views of a sexual assault?
Not really saying that has to be. Yeah. Do you have to be watching that? Does it have to be that? What was the other option? What was the other option that you said that was?
There are previous employees of Pixar that are working on a children's series.
Perfect. You know what? I think if I went to Sundance, I'd probably pick that one, not the sexual assault one. No, not really.
I always thought you were so into that.
But you know what? That's why they make different genres. There are many genres of movie. Not a lot of people like horror or comedies. Some people like action. So you know what? I'm pretty sure that if this goes ahead, there'll be multiple genres. Just so you have the variety you want, Ben.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You know what? I know this is James's big question, and I'm going to ask it for him because I know he's a little embarrassed. Will there be point-of-view porn for Oculus Rift?
Thank you, Ben. I didn't know how to bring this topic up.
I know you did.
Brad, you pushed me into my uncomfortable zones.
Yep. I'm glad I could help. So, Kenny, will there be that?
Yes, of course.
Obviously.
Okay.
Obviously there will be. I'm pretty sure that question's already been asked to actual people in the porn industry, and they say obviously it will be.
Okay. There you go, James.
My
now you
question
know.
to Kenny was, while like this whole using this for movies is gonna like be a big difference with the cuts and all that, you're also assuming that this is not going to replace movies. Movies are still going to be a thing. This will be another new kind of media.
That's what I was saying. I called it a new media. Did the movies replace the theater? No, it didn't. I mean, the theater died a little bit.
Theater was forced to adapt.
But yeah, it was forced to adapt and market itself differently. I mean, with painting, when photographs first came out for self-portraits, that completely changed the way painters painted. It just changes an industry. It doesn't kill anything. I think it'll be a fun new art form to explore.
That'll be cool.
There will be people that will master the art in 3D, whether it is lighting or scenic or whatever it is that goes into it, that can't necessarily work in the other worlds or vice versa. Like,
So my other,
Do you think we're going to see more of like Oculus Rift 3D stuff, or are you think we're going to see more like hologram films?
I think it'll be. I mean, I hope at least the way that the one video again we'll have to post it. I'll have to find it again. I would be very interested in Oculus Rift type. I mean, because if you get into the holograms, you're approaching 3D, and we already know. I mean, at least personally to me, 3D has failed. Yeah, there are plenty of 3D TVs out there. They still film in 3D, but the effects are cheap. There aren't very movies that actually capture the beauty of 3D, and hopefully that was just a stepping stone to this more Oculus Rift type of new media.
my big concern is that we are going to need to do to get. If I want everyone in my house to experience this, I'm going to need 4 or 5 Oculus Rifts to have everyone enjoy the same experience. Where I feel like this is inspiring something that is very consolidated, very lonely. You know,
I mean, but who says you have to provide when other people come over to your house? Yes, that's how it works with movies and television, is that you've got one television that you sit in front of. But most likely, like, if this becomes big enough, I'll have my own Oculus Rift. How often do you go to the movies? Even not watching at home, how often do you go to the movies with a group of people? Like, you might go with 1 or 2, but with multiple, you're not going to... you all pay for your own ticket. It's a little bit... At that point, when you invite people over to your house, you might just pick up a regular movie to watch. You don't have to watch an Oculus Rift movie. But when you want to watch one, other people can bring their Oculuses over. Like,
I'm more talking about the families at home, not just inviting people over.
Well,
like if I wanted to sit down with my wife and watch an Oculus Rift movie, but we only had one Oculus Rift, that'd suck.
Who said? I mean, maybe this isn't a home product yet. Maybe it can be marketed to theaters.
I mean, okay, if this becomes big enough, you could be talking like $10-20 per Oculus Rift. That's not a lot. B, you could get more like a Oculus room, so to speak, kind of like
Oculus
more
room.
of a hologram sort of thing.
Like a holodeck from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Or like a Holo-Lens by Microsoft.
I mean, how many computers are in most homes? I mean, I know they're used for a lot more than you can do multiple things on them, but people have the disposable income to buy it. I mean,
Kenny, no, most households don't have a bunch of computers. Most households have one.
Then one. I mean, it could be marketed to theaters. You can install them in theaters and have
That I
them
could
go to the
see.
theaters.
That I could see more.
Yeah.
Like going to
At first, but eventually, I can see them being in homes.
And then one day they'll turn us all into androids, and we'll have little cybernetic implants in our eyes, and that's how we'll interact with each other.
Perfect. I like it.
We're not talking about tomorrow, but I mean, we are talking about the possibilities of this device.
But I want robot eyes tomorrow.
I mean, it's
ruining my dreams, Kenneth. God damn it.
Nikki, do you think we need movies on Oculus Rift?
No. 3D is already a pain in the ass anyway, so it's like, why would I want a fucking Oculus Rift movie that's going to make me even more nauseous and my eyes hurt?
Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
He has a point.
I would also, I mean, I agree with everything Nikki just said, but she also has not been here for the last 10 minutes to hear everything else we've said. But
No idea.
again,
You wouldn't have even been talking about Oculus Rift. You could have been talking about cheesecake for all I know.
3D cheesecake.
Oh, wait, okay. 3D cheesecake, I'm down for.
All right.
you can't taste.
Now we
3D.
settled that.
All right. I want to move into kind of wrapping up the show. I have one final question for each of you guys. Oculus versus Morpheus versus HoloLens versus Google Glass. Which one do you get? You can only get one. James, what do you get?
I'd probably go with the HoloLens.
HoloLens, Kenny.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I would go
I
HoloLens.
haven't seen too much on Morpheus. I'd have to look at that, but I would go with Oculus.
Nikki.
Probably Oculus or Morpheus, one of the two of them.
Okay. I personally would go HoloLens so far.
Yeah.
Granted, I am
Loser.
very excited to see what Sony does with Morpheus, but HoloLens is
Well, have you also seen Sony's new project?
what new project?
They have the what's it called? Hold on one second. I'm looking for it. It's the Smart Eyeglass Attach.
No, it sounds like Google Glass, and I already hate it.
It's more like it's kind of a cross between Google Glass and the HoloLens. It's a much smaller screen, and it is actually a device that you can attach to sunglasses or any type of glasses.
Yeah,
So it's similar purpose, but it can attach and detach from glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, that solves the main problem that you had, but
Okay.
of not wanting to have it on all the time. That was the big issue with Google Glass to you.
Yeah, the other big thing was using it out in the wild. I would prefer something that I just use at home.
You can
But-
just use that at home. It's detachable.
So is Google Glass. Anyways, that is kind of all of our talk about augmented and virtual reality, except for the Riddickulous Rants rebooted end of show quiz. Used to, I quizzed my round table on the news of the last week. From now on, I am going to quiz them on the topic at hand. So this week's quiz topic is virtual reality and augmented reality. Nikki,
Yeah.
the first question goes to you. I'm giving you the easy one because I gave the answer earlier in the show.
Oh, shit.
Okay?
That's gonna be even funnier if she gets it wrong.
I wasn't here for half the show.
If I wanted to get Google Glass and join part of the Explorer program before it ended, how much would I have been spending? $500, $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000?
$1,500.
Good job, Nikki. And then if I wanted to go get one on Amazon or eBay right now, I'd be spending $2,000. But
Ew.
$1,500 was correct. That means 1 point to Nikki.
Good job, Nikki.
Kenny,
Yes.
what is Sundance calling the new genre of virtual reality related work? Is it called A, Multimedia Madness, Galaxy Groove, or D, The New Frontier?
I heard A and D, so could you repeat B and C?
B, The Final Frontier, and C, Galaxy Groove.
And what's D again?
D is The New Frontier.
I'm going to go with D.
D, The New Frontier is the brand new genre of virtual reality related work at Sundance this year. Good job, Kenny. That's 1 point for Nikki, 1 point for Kenny. James, the next question goes to you. If you wanted to get the first Oculus prototype as one of its Kickstarter backers, what was the minimum pledge amount? Was it A, $100,
What?
B, $200, C, $300, or D, $400?
400 sounds right.
400 is the correct answer. Congratulations, James, Nikki, and Kenny. You are all tied with
Yes.
1 point each. This last question I made especially hard, though. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Here's what I am going to do. This is not a multiple choice question. This is a whoever gets closest to the right answer. What year is it? No. What year was Microsoft Surface? What year was Microsoft's Surface Table announced? I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Remember, the Microsoft Surface Table
Get our
was
phone, Kenny.
that device that was a table, but it was a tablet. Some might say it put the table in tablet.
No, stop. Just
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't do that.
Don't tell me what to do.
Take the phone, Nikki. Yep. She's
Is
done
everyone ready to
Yep.
give the answer?
Yeah, I've got my gut feeling.
Okay, James. What year?
2011.
2011. Kenny. What year?
it. 2007.
Nikki. What year?
2009.
The correct answer, the Microsoft Surface Table, was announced March 3rd of 2007.
Nice.
8
Nice.
years ago, the Microsoft Surface Table was announced. Kenny, congratulations. You won the revamped news quiz.
Yet again.
Next week, everyone, our topic, I guess it's not next week, it's 2 weeks. My apologies. Our next show topic will be posted soon, so you can kind of get your opinions on the matter on the next show. Remember, you can always find us all on Twitter. Nikki is at HarleyQuinn103. Kenny is at Kenneth Scott H. James, the only one I have to spell on the air, at Sarah Capelli, SER_CAPELLI. And of course, you can follow the podcast at RiddickulousRT and visit our website, www.nkrn.org. Like and subscribe on YouTube /Ridiculous Productions. And of course, don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, because with this show, we are back on iTunes, everyone. Yes, that's right, we are back on iTunes. Guys, it has been another ridiculous night, and remember, you can't spell ridiculous without Riddick.
Without Riddick.